The Elden Ring DLC is officially out and I just finished my first run. So now I'm here after a 35 hours or something run, and I got some thoughts on this. So first of all, the bosses are way too hard. The DLC is so disappointing. Nah, I'm just kidding. Of course I'm kidding. The DLC is great. The world is big, it's beautiful, it's got so many different kinds of areas and different looks to the areas, and you got like a little bit of everything for everyone. You got this madness area where you can get some more madness shit if you're into that. You got this old dragon area where you can get more dragon shit. You can even get like 2 different dragon forms, like the ones from the Dark Souls series where you turn yourself into a dragon. Yeah, there's a lot of new shit. There's a lot going on in the DLC. The map is fucking huge. Miyazaki was underselling, of course. He said the map was as big as Limgrave. The map is not as big as Limgrave. In like the surface area, I still don't think so, but maybe. But the map got layers, dude. It's insane. The story is captivating, kinda sad, and it's overall good, I think. I was left a bit lackluster at the end, kinda. I really wish there would be like an extra cutscene, maybe a new ending you can get in the base game when you finish the DLC. Just something, because the ending shit was, yeah, I was left kinda unsatisfied. But other than that, it was really captivating, and I think that's why I want more. I just want like another cutscene or whatever, because the story is actually good. The level up mechanic, I think, is kinda tedious. I really wish they would do it like in Sekiro, where it would be like you defeat a boss and you power up because you defeated that boss, or use an item. I really wish it would be kind of like that, or a little bit more similar, because having it be like these items you have to collect, these Erdtree fragments or whatever, it just gets kind of tedious. There's so many of them, there's 50 in total, so there's so many, so it gets kind of boring going around and getting them like every time you want to have a run. They need a system like this. I just wish it would be simpler. The bosses are great. I really do think the bosses are great. A lot of people are complaining they're too hard or their moveset is kind of unfair and whatnot, but I think they're great. They're challenging, that's for sure. They got, you know, new movesets you gotta learn as always, and some of them have like some big ass AoE attacks you gotta kind of like look out for or learn to counter in different ways that many people might not be familiar with. And the final boss, there's a lot of shit about the moveset being unfair here, because you got all these attacks like covering the whole map almost, and I kind of agree on some of them. They're kind of unfair, but at the same time you can dodge them or run away from them or whatever you need to do. It's possible, so I think the bosses are great, man. And the look of the final boss is fucking... I love that shit. Spoiler alert, but me and my friend, when playing the base game, we talked about, oh, imagine fighting Radahn in his prime, or Placidusax in his prime, because they're all wounded when you fight them in the base game. And when we get to the final boss, we just see Radahn in prime standing there looking menacingly at us. Oh my lord, I didn't know what to say, to be honest. That shit was insane, dude. And then you get obviously like the Mikla phase at the end, which is really sick. I really hoped I could fight Mikla on his own, but I kind of get him being like kind of a support character as well because of his whole like demeanor and whatever. So that was great. I really loved it. Is it the best final boss ever? I don't really know. There are some great ones, like for example Gale in the Dark Souls 3 DLC, so it's a hard one, but it's a really good final boss, I think. The weapons, I have mixed feelings about this. There are some really sick weapons, don't get me wrong. There's some really sick like Ashes War and whatever, but I miss more buffable weapons. I got one weapon really early, like the circular switchback blades from like the first enemy you meet in the DLC almost. So I got that straight away and I really want to use it, but it wasn't buffable, which was kind of a bummer, because they would look really sick if they were buffable. And there are some other ones where I feel the same. I don't think you can buff the claws and the martial arts and a whole bunch of lot of weapons that are not buffable. There's a lot of new greases as well, so having more buffable weapons would make sense, kinda. There's many great weapons, don't get me wrong. I had really fun trying out some of them. I can see many builds, let's just say that. Okay, and yeah, overall it's a great DLC though. I don't get why so many people are shitting on the DLC. It's got mixed reviews on Steam right now. People are saying like, there's a lot of people complaining about the bosses being too hard. Bro, it's FromSoft games, they're supposed to be hard, so well, I don't get it, man. You're not supposed to like go up to a boss and be able to beat it in like an hour if you're an average player and you don't use spirit ashes and whatnot. I use spirit ashes on my run and I think that was challenging enough as it is. I mean, if you're gonna do it without, it's gonna be hard. That's just how it is. That's how the base game is as well. And the DLCs in FromSoft games are always harder. That's just how it is. I mean, I just played Dark Souls 2 and the DLC bosses are so much harder than the base game. That's like kind of their style. It's an extra layer of difficulty. I think many of the bad reviews that says like the bosses are too hard, I think it's new players coming in because Elden Ring has gotten so mainstream and there's a lot of like FPS streamers started playing it, and this just brings this whole new player base to the game. So I think many of the reviews are that. When you have something to complain about, it's more likely you write a review than if you're happy with the game or like averagely happy with the game. But seeing the mixed reviews on Steam, I just felt like, okay, I gotta leave a review this time. Usually I don't leave reviews on games, but I had to support, you know, because I think truly it is a great DLC. I can see some of the critique is getting, but I don't think it's enough to rate it negative, if that makes sense. I saw one review that was just one sentence, like calling it a money grab basically, and bro, what even is that? But of course there's gonna be some critique, like for example, the world is really big but some areas feel kind of empty. They could have more dungeons and shit like that, and there's so many positives compared to the negatives. It's just easier to talk about the negatives. So overall, great DLC. It's not perfect, but it's great, that's for sure. And that's like kind of my conclusion here. Anyway, me and my friend had a blast playing this. We actually played it together. So and I streamed it as well, but we played in Norwegian because we're from Norway, so we talk Norwegian, which is a bummer, I know, guys. But I'm gonna do another run now where I go full solo, no spirit ashes, and go on my strength character. So watch out, twitch.tv, link down in the description if you wanna check that out. I will be making a video on that as well. I made a VOD channel, so if you wanna check out the blind run, even though we talk Norwegian, link in the description there as well. I'm gonna make a highlights video from me and my friend's run as well. Even though we're talking Norwegian, I will be texting it over to English and kind of just make a video about the highlights. So that's probably gonna come out this Sunday. That's about it. Great DLC, great game. I'll see you in the next one, guys.
Touch the withered arm and travel to the realm of shadow. I will not be far behind. May we meet again.